How will you feel if you earn 12.5k a month? That's $12,500 every single month. Today I'm going to share with you an article about this guy. This guy in Singapore, right? So this man in his 30s that he earns 12,500 a month says that he's terribly miserable and lives paycheck to paycheck. What about you? Let me know what you think, what you feel if you earn 12.5k a month. Would you be terribly miserable? Would you be sad? Maybe, but I want to dive a bit deeper into this specific article and just discuss with you about why I share what I share about, the passive income lifestyle, the early retirement. Okay, it's pretty much about money psychology, and happiness. This is how I interpret it, right? So if you scroll down to this article, right, he says that I'm so tired of sick of it all. What are my options? So from this, right, you can already tell, okay, he feels that he's tired, he's sick of it. One of my options says that he feels like he's stuck. Okay, so a man in his early 30s earning 12.5 grand a month wrote that he feels terribly miserable with his work. He was living from paycheck to paycheck with minimal savings because there are a lot of things to pay for. Okay, he shared this post on this confession page, this anonymous confession page called SG Whispers. Okay, recently, July 17th, today July 22nd, so 5 days ago. And he was looking for advice on how he could make himself feel less depressed. He said that he worked in the fast-paced tech industry, makes about 150 grand a year, which is about 12.5k a month, right? When you divide it out. So he says this: compared to my peers from school, I'm considered to be doing well. However, for my role and my scope, I'm considered to be on a lower spectrum of the pay scale. So what he's saying over here is that when he compares himself to his peers from school, he's doing well. But when he compares to people in the fast-paced tech industry, he's at the lower end, right? So he's better than most of his friends, but not that good when it comes to tech in the industry, right? Okay, so his friends and family thought he was doing well, but he felt miserable because hours are long and a lot of pressure. So sounds like stress and pressure, right? So this is what he shared over here. I can share you the link later. Okay, so you can see I live from paycheck to paycheck with minimal savings. There's a ton of things to pay for, such as loans, home-related bills, insurance, medical bills, rising cost of food, renewal of appliances, Many times I consider if I should die. No. I mean, dying or suicide is a permanent solution to a short-term problem, So this doesn't make sense to me. I mean, from a logical standpoint. There's so much thing to enjoy, so much thing to have fun, so much food to eat, so much place to visit. Come on! Yeah. So he says this, he continued to say, deadline after deadline, meeting after meeting. It never seems to end. My blood pressure has went up significantly over the last 2 years. That my doctor suggested for me to quit my job or take a long vacation. Both are impossible. He envied the people who are able to switch off and remove themselves from work once they leave the office. So he's saying that his office follows him wherever he goes. Okay? And then when he considered switching to a more relaxed role, he felt that it was too deep. So this is the thing I want to point out. Despite earning 12.5k a month, he lives from paycheck to paycheck. Minimum savings because there's a lot of things to pay for. Okay? So, what do you think? What do you feel? I'm going to share with you what I think, but then you share in the comments below, okay? So from what he shared, right, to me it feels really clear, right? Okay, I'm going to grab my notepad. Oh, it's not loading up. Okay, it's loading up right now. So from here you can see, I'm just going to zoom out for this one. Okay, number one, he is stressed from the pressure, right? Number two, he is stuck, right? He compared to his friends from school, he's better off. But when compared to tech, he's on the lower end of the spectrum. And then number four, he earns 12,500 a month, but lives paycheck to paycheck. because there's lots of things to pay for. Okay, so from here you can tell, right? Okay, it's a lot of feeling of being stuck. There's a lot of pressure, fast-paced movement, and comparison with his friends, and comparison with his peers. Okay, peers from school and peers from and colleagues from where he's working right now in the tech industry. And also he says that he earns 12.5k a month, but he lives paycheck to paycheck, no savings because so much things to pay for. Now, I do not know the backstory. I do not know how much context he has. But if I'm going to make an assumption, right, if I was him earning 12,500 a month, and assuming I'm single, right, I would change a lot of things. Okay, I'll just change it. Just change up everything. From a financial standpoint, I will not spend 12,500. I mean, it's easy to say, right? But to execute is hard. This is what I'm going to do ideally. Okay, I'll make a hard cap on what I'm going to spend every month. So let's say I don't want to live like a pauper. 12.5 grand gives me a lot more budget. So say I'm going to limit myself to spend at most. Spend 5,000 a month. Okay, whatever it is. Rent, food, play, travel, whatever. 5k, hard stop. Okay, hard stop. Stop a month. Everything else, which is savings, so 12,500 minus 5,000, you get about 7,000. Okay, 7,500 a month. This amount, I would just plonk it into Singapore dividend stocks. Okay, these are all going to SG dividend stocks. Or if you're in US, UK, you can buy your index funds, and as long as it performs about at least 8 to 10% for you every year. Singapore dividend stock can perform for you about 6 to 8% ish comfortably, which pays me about 8% per year. And I'll just stay like this status quo. Means that from spend 5,000 a month means that I will have to cut down housing. Cut housing costs. If my family is staying with me, then we all have to stay in a smaller space or a less expensive place. Consider HDB. Or if I'm staying alone, maybe a co-living space. Say 1,500 a month. That gives me about 3,500 a month, which is lots of money to spend. I will review the insurance and medical bills. I do not know how much is paying for medical bills and how much insurance is paying for. But if there's any insurance that he's paying that he doesn't need, we will have to return that back, right? Okay. So I'll expand on point number 2 here. Okay, 7,500 a month into SG dividend stock that give me 8% per year. If I bring to this compound interest page over here, right? 7,500. Okay, you take the calculator. 7,500 times 12. That's 90,000 a year. So every year I put in 90 grand, and with let's say 8% per year, and say I can hang on to this for 15 years. Oh, that's a lot of money. Okay, let's say I can't stay that long. Let's say this way, 1.408 million. Hold on, 10 years, okay? So 10 years, reinvested 8% dividends. At the end of year 10, I will have a nest egg amount of 1.4 million. So say 1.4 million right? 1.4 million over here, and I continue to put the 1.4 million in dividend stocks. 0.08%, 8% per year is 112,000 at 8% returns, that's about how much here? 112,000. In terms of dividends, per year, which is divided by 12, this is $9,387 a month. Okay, I want you to pay attention, okay? This is what you get dividends per month, and then you compare with this. So if I'm already only spending 5,000 a month, by 10 years, if I can generate 9,000 a month, at this point, I can retire. Seriously, you know. And this is the concept I want to really drive home with you. I mean, for this guy, it works really well because he earns a very big chunk of money. 12.5 grand is comfortable with lots of bandwidth for me to invest, save and invest, and it just cuts short the amount that I need to retire. And this is the key, right? So by spending, making a hard cap for his spending a month, which is put at 5,000, which is comfortable, okay? And then you can invest 7,500 a month, and within 10 years, and assuming 8% interest per year reinvested, you get 1.4 million in 10 years. Assuming he says in his 30s, right? That means, let's assume he's 35. In 10 years, he's 45. Retire at 45. And it's good. He has more than enough spending a month, which is 9,003. In fact, he can continue spending 5,000 a month. So he can spend, let's say 6,000 a month, and reinvest the balance of 9,387 minus 6,000 equals to 3,387 a month. You have to always reinvest to counter inflation. And you still have the bandwidth. You see, what I don't want to do is that I don't want to be thinking that I get immense happiness from my job. You know that because sometimes there's no perfect job. And when you keep comparing to your friend from school and you compare to your people in your industry, it's a never-ending game because it's like you keep comparing with the Jonases, and you want more and more. What is obvious here is that this isn't good fit for him, or he's burnt out and need a holiday, or both, right? I do not know how burnt out a person can be. I do not know how much mental health can be. But what I know is that I don't want to put my luck of getting happiness or freedom in just randomly. I will prioritize my time, my money, to invest as much as I can in a short time as I can to be free. And at this point, let's say he's 45, he can retire, he can choose to work part-time, he can choose to travel the world, maybe meet somebody, fall in love, maybe get married, have children, I don't know, you know. But when you get to retire, when your money is not a worry anymore, you have more choices. And I think we human, me at least, right, I love having more options. If I want to work lesser, sure, I don't have to worry about money. If I want to eat out or eat at the restaurant, yeah, sure, great, no problem. You know, so that's how I feel about this guy, right? I think that he really should make a big change in his life to cut back on the cost of our expenses that he has and reinvest all the differences. Seriously. Even if you say he doesn't want to do for 10 years, he can't take it so long. 5 years, let's say 5 years, he invests. He has much lesser, 570,000. So at 570,000, right, at 8% return, right, 5.08. You still have 45,000 a year in dividends divided by 12, which is about 3,800 a month. It's decent. It's not as nice as 9,003, but with 5 years, you can get much more options. 3,008, you can arbitrage. You can live in Malaysia. You know, you can live in Thailand. It's actually okay. Not as comfortable as 9,000 plus, but it's okay. So this is what I'm trying to share with you and get across to you. You know, I do not put so much emphasis on getting happiness at work, because sometimes it's up and down, up and down, up and down. But if you get money out of the way, then you have more options to pursue or to explore things that you may be interested in along the way, along the journey of life. And that's all I have for you today. Hope that you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and remember, keep investing for passive income.